A new survey finds that more women are rejecting the corporate ladder and the money that goes with it because they want more free time and, more importantly, they want more flexibility.
They want to get more out of life.
Don't you go get any ideas.
What are you talking about? We'll take a closer look at that survey in just a moment. First, though, we want to introduce you to one businesswoman who did make that decision, who chose to step back.
I was constantly working to the next promotion, worked my way up to be vice president by the time I was 30.
By corporate America standards, Pamela Skillings had it all. A six-figure salary, a Wall Street office, a prestigious title, vice president at Citigroup. But after 12 years of climbing the ladder, she gave it all up at the age of 35.
I felt like I was running on that hamster wheel all the time. I was getting sick all the time. I was coming home exhausted. You know, my husband didn't think I was as much fun anymore, and I didn't feel like I was me anymore, at least the me that I wanted to be.
And she isn't alone. A More magazine survey of 500 women found 2 out of 3 would accept a smaller paycheck in exchange for more free time. 73% would not apply for their boss's job. Skillings lives with her husband in Queens, New York, where she works for herself as a career coach, setting her own schedule, which has improved her marriage and quality of life.
I'm much happier. I have much more time to spend with my husband. I still work hard, but it's on my own terms.
While 43% of the women polled said they were less ambitious now than a decade ago, for Skillings, it's the definition of ambition that's changed.
My ambition has totally changed. Now my ambition is to do good work, to make a difference, to help people, to feel good about the work I do, to build a business, to grow a business. Even though I'm working harder, I feel like what I'm doing is more meaningful, and I feel like I'm in control.
And joining us now is Jennifer Braunschweiger, deputy editor of More magazine, which came up with the idea for the Women in Workplace survey. Jen, good to have you here. Good morning.
Good morning.
So the idea of success and ambition, it's been redefined, huh?
Yes, it has. Women are telling us that they want a career and a life. And by career, they don't mean that they want to work less, but they do want more control over how, where, when they work, so that they can fit in things that are important to them.
Well, I like as we heard from the woman in the piece, it's really about redefining your definition of ambition, because there's something very ambitious about wanting to spend time with the people that you love.
Yes, or have some me time.
Yeah.
Some time to do things that are interesting to you. We asked women if they consider themselves more or less ambitious than they were 10 years ago. 43% told us they were less ambitious, but 80% agreed with the statement that a woman who wants a career and a life is ambitious in a different way.
Yeah, because it requires a lot to have those two things,
yes,
without question.
Is it possible, I mean, to have a life and to have a career? I think a lot of us battle with it day in and day out.
Yes.
Is it? I mean, I think some people might say it's impossible, you can't do it.
You know, flexibility, it comes down to flexibility, and flexibility is about control, and there are certain careers that allow you to have more control over how you're working.
But I think in your survey, correct me if it's wrong, 33% of the women believe it's actually career suicide to ask for more flexibility. And I think this hits a lot of women when it comes to asking for anything at work.
Yes, there is a perceived penalty, but it's unclear how much that's a perceived penalty and how much there's a real penalty. And in fact, despite the fact that they agreed with that statement, 92% of them told us that flexibility is the second most important characteristic in a job right after salary.
Wow. This is interesting. IBM just hired its first female CEO, setting the record for the most women CEOs at a Fortune 500 company. Yet, as we just heard, 73% of women wouldn't even apply to their boss's job. Why don't more women follow in footsteps of some of these women that do achieve and basically strive for some of these high-level positions?
What we hear over and over again is it's just not worth it. They don't want the politics, they don't want the pressure, they don't want the responsibility. They want to work hard, they want to be taken seriously at work, but they don't necessarily want to advance into those spots where it requires you to give up everything else.
How much of this, too, the changing mindset of a lot of women is the changing perception of what women do? That, you know, I think the hardest job in the world is being a stay-at-home parent. And yet, for a long time, people sort of looked down on that job. People are understanding the challenges that go along with that. So do you think public perception played into this in some way?
Sure. You know, interestingly, when we asked women what they would do with the flexibility, they didn't talk about child care, which makes me think that women are starting to figure out how to combine a career and kids, what they said they wanted was more me time.
I would take that.
They have not figured out how to keep themselves in the mix, and they haven't figured out how to exercise. You know, women also have a lot of demands from elder care. Maybe they have hobbies they want to pursue. So it's not just about making time for kids. It's about how complicated our lives are right now.
Me time is totally overrated, by the way.
You're so
You're finding it's more women with children, though, that are looking towards these kind of flexible schedules, or is it not that? Is it not the case?
Just across the board.
That was very surprising. Actually, single women told us more that they wanted flexibility and me time than women with kids, or that they were more willing to give up money in exchange for time.
That's because you need the money once you have kids.
I'm sure that's part of it.
So many more responsibilities.
Yeah.
All right, Jennifer,
Really nice to have you here.
Thank you.